Alright, guys, so welcome back to the podcast. I've been reading this John Delony book for a bit now. I started the audiobook on Tuesday of last week. I finished it on Thursday. So, and mind you, I've been listening to the majority of this during my work shifts. And some while driving. So, I wrote down a lot of the questions, and I wanted to kind of go through some of them. So the name of the book is Own Your Past, Change Your Future. I'm not sure of the price now, but the pre-order was $20 online. In my opinion, very good book. There were parts I liked, parts I didn't like, but that's how books go. There's going to be something for everybody, and then stuff that others just don't find appealing. But good book. I'm not used to a lot of self-help books. I'm used to more kind of like textbooks, but I've been wanting to get into more psych books. So I'm glad I came across this one. The part I like the most is the questions. So I wanted to do some tidbits about the sections of questions. I don't think I got all the questions, and I kind of phrased them in my own wording. So I'm going to go through the questions, if I can read my own writing, and I'm going to talk about the questions, and I'm going to so I'm going to go through questions. I'm going to talk about the questions, and then I'm going to answer them to my own comfort. I'm not going to answer all the details of all of them for my own privacy and potentially privacy of others, depending. But, they are pretty personal questions, honestly. So, I would like to see if I could find these in the book, actually. But I don't know the page numbers for the questions. I paraphrased them, put them in a notebook, and then I answered. Well, I didn't put the answers yet. So, very good book. It's a lot of CBT and kind of narrative therapy type of stuff. It's kind of my first time looking through the book. There's like footnotes and stuff. So the main points are owning your stories, acknowledging reality, getting connected, changing your thoughts, and changing your actions. It's organized very well. I don't want to salt this for people. For me, I'm not the most into stories. Sometimes because I find them kind of triggering. Mostly because the work I do is so intense and I get a little triggered by stories. So, let me see. Trying to find the first set of questions. I could just read them off my phone. I might just have to read them off my phone. The thing is, I don't have Wi-Fi, and I took these pictures a couple days ago. So, shoot. Dropping a book into a metal water bottle here. But yeah, I took the pictures a couple days ago, and I don't have Wi-Fi where I'm sitting recording, so it's a little blurry. Even if I blow it up, let's see. I think I might be able to read it. So let me see. And of course, I wrote them in a weird order. So about stories, about tech, debt, and cost of independence. I guess those were kind of the major topics in this first section of questions. So there were about 13 questions. There was, thinking about phone usage. Number 1, about phone usage. Number 2, time on social media /screen. Number 3, the number of screens per day. Number 4, online accounts and password amounts. Number 5, length of length of time that your actual job site existed. 6, the total amount of dollar debt that you have, listing them smallest to largest. Number 7, the total debt amount. Number 8, 5 of your very best friends. And if there's loneliness, is there evidence? And then, okay, so this is also like just some topics that I wrote down, like loneliness and evidence related to loneliness. And then worth and the amount you get paid, and your income. So worth, how much you feel like you're worth based on how much your income is or how much you get paid. Those were just side topics, I guess. And so number 9, how long you've known those friends. Number 10, tough times and joyful times you've had together. Number 11, how often do you call or hang out with friends? Number 12, at 2 a.m. if you needed someone to come over and watch your kids, who would that be, and do you have somebody? Number 13, last time you wept in front of friends and what was going on at that time. So for phone usage, I can look at my phone usage. How do you do that again? I see it a lot in my phone, but I don't know how to actually get there. Screen time, I guess. It's down 24% from last week. It says 7 hours, 51 minutes. I don't know if it shows how long I'm down away from my screen. Okay, so seeing all activities. Today, 6 hours and 58 minutes. The majority of that was 3 hours and 4 minutes of entertainment, 2 hours and 28 minutes of social, and 38 minutes of creativity. I would say I just recorded a 90-minute podcast episode and another one that I'm already about maybe almost 10 minutes into. So let's see. It's saying the majority of my categories. YouTube, 2 hours and 42 minutes. That's probably pretty accurate. Messages, 2 hours and 2 minutes. And then about in the 20 minutes, looking at photos, Instagram, Safari, Netflix. I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes of Moesha, so I think that was more. And it's saying 7 minutes of voice memos, which I know is more. The 2 hours, 42 minutes. Okay, so I listened to that Talmud episode this morning. Those are almost an hour. I didn't finish it. I only listened to like the first I think it's called Ahmad Aleph. I think it's on Veamos 49A or something like that. And then, I watched We're Having Gay Sex by Ashley Gavin. It's a podcast that's about an hour. Then I watched some Domo and Danny updated videos. And I guess I do text a lot. If I've spent like 2 hours on texting. And it says down 23% from last week. My daily average being 7 hours, 52 minutes. And so, mind you, when I'm working, which I wasn't working today, but when I am working, I do keep podcasts on in the background. I generally do this through my cell phone as well. And that's a lot of the time while I'm working, at least 2 to 3. If I say that I'm documenting almost half the day that I'm working, it's probably almost 3 hours, 4 hours worth of the day, because I like to do my sessions in the beginning of the day so that I can spend the end portion of my day documenting, so that I can listen to the podcast at the same time. And because clients sometimes call back and forth, and like you have multiple services in one day, and then it's like, instead of just writing one note and going back in and writing more and going back in and writing more, it's like I like to just compile all the information with the back and forth instead, and then I just have one long note I can write. But I mix it up day to day. It kind of depends. And then so that's my phone usage mostly. Time on social media and screen, I just explained that. Number of screens per day. So the number of screens per day that I would say that I probably use. So I've got my cell and hold on a minute. Sorry, I'm like recording and somebody posted up like right next to my car with their phone on. So I would say number of screens per day, my cell phone, my my work computer, my work cell phone. I don't use my personal computer every single day, unless I'm like blogging. I need to be journaling and blogging and like doing like eBay and that kind of stuff every day, but I don't do it every day, honestly. So I'd say 3 screens. I don't have a TV. I don't know. This number of screens per day. Online accounts and passwords, I don't even know. But what I can do is look at my settings in my passwords. Let's see. The passwords I have saved. There's a lot of accounts here. I have them saved. I wouldn't even say that I know all of them. There's a lot. I'm scrolling. I have a lot. Okay, so let me see. AAA, Adobe. I mean, AAA is mostly like if I'm using it for my car. I talked to them once this year so far because I was trying to upgrade. And then because I had something, I had a suspended license for a point that I did get paid off because I did think that I had hired a company that was going to go to court for me, and it turns out I guess maybe they did, and then the correspondence information they didn't send to the right address, And so I just assumed it was done, and I was like so busy and stressed and overwhelmed and burned out by that point and depressed and things. I just didn't follow up with it, honestly. And then when I lost my driver's license, I remember I had a medical marijuana card and a driver's license that I took out at like a dispensary once, and I must have dropped it somewhere, either indoors or outdoors, or left it somewhere, and it just never made it back home with me. And so when I went to the DMV to get my driver's license again, I couldn't get it. I had to just get an ID card. So I got an ID card. And then they told me that I had like an outstanding balance for like the ticket that I never paid. It was like $1,500 or something. And so I eventually paid that off and then got my driver's license back reinstated. So I was kind of riding dirty for a bit there. There's a point where I honestly didn't even know. So I'm so lucky I didn't get pulled over, but I didn't even know. And then I finally found out and then got it fixed. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. AffiliateReporting.com, Affiliately, More Affiliately, Alibaba, AliExpress, AliExpress.ru, Alliant, AliHoopla. I'm not going to go through all these. I have multiple Amazon accounts because I have multiple ones connected to my different email accounts. I have a lot of Anchor accounts because I have different podcasts. Banking stuff. I'm not even going to go through all this. There's a lot. But a lot of them I'm looking at and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Stuff that I don't even use, like ClickBank, ClickFunnels, Coursera, like stuff that I use like maybe once and saved the password because I thought maybe I'll need it again. And it's getting hot. I need to fix this situation. All right. So, yeah. Man, this sugar has made me feel so slow. I do not usually eat this much sugar. I ate so much freaking sugar. Okay. So it was online accounts and passwords. The length of time that my current job has existed. I think the company itself, the main company, has been around maybe since the 80s or 90s. It says on our business cards. I don't have one on me. And our current company opened in 2020. Our current branch. And the total amount of debt, small to large, I mean, I'm not going to list that, but the largest is going to be student loans. I used to do payday loans. I probably have a lot of charge-offs. I think I have, like, in my credit report, I think it shows about $3,000 of student loan debt, and then otherwise it doesn't really show much of anything else. I'm not gonna say how much debt I have. It's a lot. 5 of my very best friends, I'm not gonna say all of their names, but y'all know who y'all are. And then how long I've known them. I've mentioned, I've had some family friends since I was like age, what is this driver doing? She keeps like moving her car. This is like the second time she's moved her car, and now it looks like she's in like a red zone. I don't even know what she's doing. I don't think she knows what she's doing. She's gonna have to repark again because she just moved in a red zone. I think she wants to be at the end of the lane because she probably doesn't like people parking behind her parallel on the street, which I get. I don't like that either. So yeah, how long I've known my friends? I've got some friends that I've known since like I was 5, but probably only one of those friends I actually really talk to on a regular basis. Kind of more regular, not like regular, but like, you know, family friend. And then I've got some other friends from maybe a little over 10 years ago. Then I've got some more local friends from about 2014-ish, a little after 2014. Let's see. We've had a lot of tough and joyful times. I'm not going to talk about the details. How often we call or message. We message probably more than we call, but for some of my friends, we've gotten pretty good at calling pretty often. Just because we do drive and stuff now more often. At 2 a.m. if I needed someone to come over and help with my kids, who would it be? I don't have kids, but as far as people who actually live in the same city as me, I know people who I did rely on for assistance, but as far as if I really needed something, I have a friend that I think I would call. Maybe 2 people that I think would potentially, be helpful to bail me out of something if I needed. I don't feel like I ask these people for anything. I hardly ask anybody for anything, so usually if I'm going to be asking, I think people kind of know, like, hey, I really mean it. Last time I wept in front of friends and what was going on. I don't know. I'm thinking like maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I remember kind of crying on the phone when my friend lost his mother, but I was leaving a message. And then so I'm trying to think. I remember like years ago, crying about a situation, kind of. I got a little teary. I was having an emotional time. And then, cause like, I remember we went to this like temple garden and I needed a bathroom. Like, it wasn't like too desperate, but it was like unpleasant enough that I kind of needed the bathroom. And then they wouldn't let me use the bathroom, even though some guy literally had come out of the toilet. And I was like, can you just open it and I'll like lock it? He's like, no. And I was like, can you just wait? I'll be like 2 minutes. He's like, sorry, I can't. And I'm like, is there somebody else I can ask? And he's just like, no. And he just kind of like kept walking. And I was like, okay, that's kind of rude. But then when my friends were like, oh, he's racist or whatever, and I was just like, I didn't really take that as like racist, but just the fact that they kind of mentioned it kind of like upset me. Like, I don't know. I remember just like a tear or so kind of flowing down my face and just kind of wiping it away, but I wasn't like weeping, I wouldn't say necessarily. I'm trying to think of one of the last times I was like actually crying about something. Like I like in front of people with them there. It's kind of hard to say anything recent because we've been so isolated for so many years now at this point. It's like I haven't really had that many face-to-face experiences with friends. And the ones that I have had, we were like partying most of the time. So, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know for that one. But, so I don't know. If you guys like that kind of tidbits, I'm going to do some John Delony tidbits. That one was about technology, debt, Jeez, what else? I just read it and I can't remember. Technology, debt, and the cost of independence, I guess. I don't really know exactly what that means, but that's what I wrote. But it's kind of my paraphrased version of the questions. I don't know. I feel like financial stuff, that's kind of personal. I don't really want to share that with the whole entire internet. But I'm working on it. I could do way better with it if I didn't, if I had more self-control in different ways to kind of relieve, a lot of the stress that I get from working from home and having roommates in house or having housemates. I feel like I feel like working from home makes me a little exhausted. And I need to kind of get out of the house. I get a little restless. I need to kind of like go do different stuff. Because mind you, my office is my bedroom. So I'm like literally there all day long. I think I've explained, as far as our living room is concerned, somebody rents it out. So we can't really hang out in the living room. Kind of just stuck in the bedroom unless I leave the house. And so, which is another thing that's appealing about recording podcasts outside of the house, because at least I'm like out of the house. But I think that whole situation makes it hard for me to really just be like, okay, like hunker down and like stay home and don't spend money and don't go out. It's like I have a hard time not going out to eat dinner. I don't like to cook at the house because there's so many freaking people there. I have a hard time not there's a lot of stuff I have a hard time doing just because of my living arrangement right now. So but the reason why I'm keeping the living arrangement too is because I'm paying less than $800 a month. Mind you, I have a friend who's renting a bedroom for $1,100. I have a friend who's renting a bedroom in Vegas for $1,000. And then my friends who got apartments, studios or one bedrooms for about $1,500 in different places, either in this state or other states. I don't know anybody who's really paying under $1,500 or under $1,000 right now. I think right now my rent is cheaper than everybody else's that I know. But I also put up with a lot of BS. But also I'm saving like half the money. So that's one reality. So yeah, there's that. But so I mean, it is an excuse in a way, but it is something that I realize, like, that's kind of how I care for my own mental health. Now, I did kind of go a little, not like wild, but I did kind of not really check my bank until today. Up from a certain point, when I was kind of traveling a little bit, I checked, and then, like, I didn't even notice that I got paid. Like, I didn't check. I was like, I wonder if I was going to get paid Friday or whatever. And I was like, I'm not even going to check because it doesn't matter. I knew the money was there, but I'm lucky for that reason. It's not really a flex. It's just like, to some extent, I have wasted money. I've gone to Vegas. I wasn't gambling at Vegas at all, but, I didn't have to fly. I've booked stuff like without really considering checkout times, or like getting an Uber last minute, and like or like reserving hotels and then not like canceling the day early enough and having to pay like an amount like $100 extra or $45 extra to check out early, or like just extra stuff that's like ordinarily that's not really something I would do. But I told myself I'm gonna give myself 1 month, which is this month of April, where I'm just gonna like take all my trips, finish out the snowboard season. So all the majority of my traveling, other than Easter, for Vegas, which was actually gonna be Black Pride in Vegas, all of my traveling oh gosh, excuse me, all my traveling has been mostly related to snowboarding. So I don't feel badly about that. That I feel good about that, actually. It's kept me working out. It's kept me in the gym. Probably more than not, because I tell myself, okay, like, I'm going to the mountains. I need to, like, work out. I need to, like, exercise, because I'm going to the mountains. And so I do actually, like, get into work. And so, yeah, but I'm not going to talk in details about my finances. It could be better, but I know I have the money. But then I also have other responsibilities that I gave myself a time limit. I was like, I need to do this. If this is how I'm going to do it, I got to do it in a way that at least there's a limit. So the time limit is after this coming weekend. Even though I think it's going to be May, actually. Let me see. Yeah, so this coming weekend, I'm going to be up in Mammoth. I'm going to be snowboarding. So Friday, Saturday is going to be, and Sunday. Those days I'll be either headed to the mountains, on the mountains, or headed back from the mountains. Okay, and then I still need to book a hotel, pitch in for the car, think about food and all that. But whatever, that'll be fine. So there's this stuff. And then there's, let me see. Yeah, mostly just that. And then like the Uber Eats orders, and the Ubering and going out for drinks and stuff. That's something I hadn't really been doing for a while, that I did kind of do, and I told myself I'll do it this month. But I probably wasted a good, I'm gonna have to go back and count, but I'm gonna estimate I had like a $1,500 splurge this month. That's about what I feel like, because I've been going since about Cesar Chavez weekend, which was the very end of March. I think Cesar Chavez Day was on March 31st. And so that means that I went snowboarding like March 29, 30. I went up to the mountains and I stayed up there for a couple days, and then I was going to go to Bear, and I didn't go on the weekend of like the 2nd of April. No, I was still at the mountains that weekend, I guess. I left on the 3rd of April, I guess. And then I was going to go up the 8th or 9th of April, and I didn't. So, yeah. But this is my splurge. So I know it's not the most responsible thing, but also it's only irresponsible because I'm not using the money to pay off debt at the moment. I still have more money that I need to use because I do need to work on stuff, but I did set aside a lot of money too for investments, and then investing in these projects and things to kind of build things up more. So yeah, So I hope you like this recording. I think I'll do a couple more on this note. And then keep trying to upload a little. But all right, guys, thanks for listening.